Today I'm going to show you how to install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware, step by step. That way you'll be up to date in the newest version of Windows and get all the security updates and features. Hi guys, Techie Papa here. I'm going to put up on the screen the steps that are required to do this install of Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. There's not a whole lot of steps. I wanted to summarize them here, and I also have the video broken out into parts. And without further ado, we'll get started. And let's go ahead and just show real quick what you would normally see on one of these older PCs that doesn't qualify for upgrading to Windows 11. So first of all, if you're on Windows 10, you're going to see this. Your version of Windows has reached the end of support. And when you click through that, you get taken to this page here that shows you that it ended on October 14th. And their recommended options are to upgrade now to Windows 11, which this PC doesn't meet the minimum requirements, or get extended security updates, which does cost money, so that's not really a great option, or they want you to buy a new PC. So since this PC runs just fine and should have plenty of life left, let's look into the process to do this without meeting the minimum requirements. If your computer still runs good on Windows 10, it's probably going to run good on Windows 11. There's not a big difference in requirements on resources or speed to make it work. So the first thing we need to do, you want to make sure you have a USB flash drive that you can use. And I think it needs to be a minimum of 8 gigabytes. Most of them these days aren't even smaller than that, but make sure it's at least 8 gigabytes in size. And then we're going to go to the web browser here and just type in Rufus download. That's the name of the program that we're going to use to create the USB drive. On this screen, we're going to scroll down to download. Depending on what you're using, you might need to download a different version, but the standard version right here is the one I need, just the 64-bit Windows. That's probably what most people will need. If you aren't sure, try that one. If that one doesn't work, you might have to download this one that says x86. All right. Now there's one other thing we're going to have to do. So here's Rufus here. This is what it looks like when you open it up. But we also need to get the Windows 11 installer. So you can actually get this straight from Microsoft. You don't need an account. You don't need to pay for anything, at least right now. Now it depends on if your Windows 10 version is active, if the Windows 11 version will be activated. And the reason that is they do allow free upgrades from Windows 10 to 11 as long as everything qualifies. You can see this version I'm on right now. It's not activated, this Windows 10 version. So when I download and install Windows 11, it won't be activated either. And if you want to activate it, there are some good sites where you can get legitimate CD keys. I'll put a couple of those down in the description below. There'll be links where you can click through and purchase the the CD keys for Windows. But we're going to click through here to this Windows 11. And the step we want is just to download the ISO. So this bottom one here. Once you click confirm, it will validate the request. Then it's going to ask you to pick the language you want. I just picked English United States since that's where I'm from. And once you confirm again, it should give you the 64-bit download link or whichever link you decided to pick. And then it'll start downloading. So I sped this up to make sure that you didn't have to watch all of that. And it's just finished up there. Now, before we move on to the next step, my recommendation is to go through the file system on your Windows install disk. So if you have more than one disk, this is only going to pertain to the drive that Windows is installed on. But go through and make sure you back up all of your files that are on here, because these are all going to get deleted when we do this part. So importantly is the users folder, but make sure you look through other folders and just think about the different things you've done. If there's certain files you need to pull off, make sure you're pulling all of that off now. Once we're finished with the backup, we can open Rufus again. And so the first thing you want to do is select that ISO file that we downloaded. You'll notice it's about 7.5 to 8 gig. Just make sure you find that and click open there. Also make sure that the flash drive that you inserted is what's selected at the top. Whatever you select up there is going to get deleted. And a very important step is to make sure you select MBR on the partition scheme. I actually tried this the other way first and realized that if you don't select that, you'll get an error from Rufus during the install process. So you'll want to click start at the bottom once you're finished. And from here, you want to for sure make sure that first option is ticked. That's what removes the requirements that Windows 11 normally blocks you on. And there's a few other things you can select here as well. I like to click the option to remove the requirement for an online account and also go ahead and create a local account. And I usually also disable the data collection options just to speed through the process a little bit more. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and click OK, and then go ahead and click OK to delete the device. This is going to format everything, so make sure you don't have anything important on it first. And it will go ahead and start the process. Once Rufus is finished updating the USB flash drive and it says ready, that means all the files have been copied over and we're ready for the next step. So at this point, you can go ahead and close this out. You're going to want to make sure your USB drive stays inserted, and we're going to shut the PC down. I wanted to place a cut in here real quick and just add a quick screen showing you what that screen looks like. If you forget to pick MBR when you're creating the Rufus, this is the error that you'll notice. So this is what I got when I tried to install first without switching that. It's mainly telling you that you need to select that MBR option. Otherwise, it blocks it in the system. The next thing you want to make sure you do, and I don't have it included because it's different on every PC, is log into your BIOS. It's usually either the delete or F2 key or the escape key on your keyboard. Sometimes it'll tell you when it first comes up, but you'll have to get into the BIOS and go to boot options and make sure you pick the USB flash drive as the first option so that loads up instead of your Windows installation. After you get the USB drive to load up, you'll get brought to this startup screen. You just want to click OK there. Scroll through, click I don't have a product key unless you do. Click the option you want. Usually Windows 11 Home or Windows 11 Pro are the two that you want to choose from. And then on this screen, you want to pick Custom Install Windows Only. And then here I was selecting which drive I wanted to use. I was deleting the partitions. And then you can click next once you have the drive open with unallocated space. And then you just got to wait for everything to install. Once this part is done, the system will probably reboot and it might ask you to remove the USB flash drive. Once it's rebooted and it said it copied all the files over, you can remove the USB drive at any point after that. On this screen here, you just need to select which language you want, and on the keyboard you can just probably accept the defaults on that as well. No need to add a second keyboard layout. Find your internet. If you don't have it hardwired, it's going to ask you to log into the wireless network. So find that and go ahead and log that in. Once that's connected, go ahead and click next. And it'll go through a few more update checks and might take a little bit longer here. But we are getting close to the end. There's not many steps left. This should be just about done. And there we go. So it's going to restart and it's booting into Windows. So there you go. We have Windows 11 set up. The only things you'll need to do now, so once this is like a fresh install, you're going to have to check your device manager for any drivers you're missing. You can search on Google to find those. And also make sure you click through and do any updates for Windows. When you first install it, it'll probably be missing several different updates here as well. I appreciate you guys watching this. Hopefully we got this all set up for you and you're all done and you got Windows 11 installed and ready to go now. If you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments down below. I keep an eye on those and answer them as quickly as possible. And if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to see more. Thanks again for watching and see you next time.